Welcome back to Stephanie Plans and Reads. Before we get into anything, I just want to say I really appreciate you spending your time with me. I know there are tons of content creators and we can't possibly watch everything, but I really appreciate when you do watch my channel. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. I really appreciate it, and it does go, anything that I get from this channel goes back into the channel. So today I wanted to share with you my first 2026 planner that has come in. It is the Sterling Ink Come Planner. I ended up getting the horizontal full year in caramel with the gold edges. So before I show you everything, I'm in Canada. This planner ended up costing me Canadian with the shipping and everything around $90. And then I've never paid duty before, but in the current climate, I was worried about having to pay duty, and rightly so, because I had to pay $43 in duty when it came in. So if you are planning on purchasing any products from the United States, I don't know, I've never had to pay much duty on things that are coming from Europe or anything, but if you are planning in this climate to order something from the US, I would just be aware that the duty that you pay is related to how much the purchase is. Because I only had one planner, it was a fairly expensive duty, but not as expensive as some people who are, buying multiple planners. So just keep that in mind for your budget. I'm not saying not to buy from there, because obviously Sterling is great company. I'm just not sure going forward, if this climate stays the same, that it's really sustainable for a lot of people who are not of that country. So the US buying US products, Canadians buying Canadian products, because of the duty, and you get hit with taxes as well. So it's just a lot. So pay that in mind for your budget. Anyway, we'll open this up. You first get this. I'm gonna just move that over. Beautiful postcard. I think you should be able to see. Yeah, I really like this postcard. And then on the other side, it's got a QR code, and then ways to use your planner, and then it's got some 30-day planning challenge, the monthly journal prompts, vision board guide, and how to plan guide. So I imagine if you go to this QR code, then you'll get more details on this. I really like this a lot. It's a good size too, so you could use it, in the cover of your planner, put it in, your clear cover, and it's really nice. Then you also get the envelope. The envelope always has a little sample, so some stickers there, and then you also get a thank you card, basically, and another QR code here. I really like that drawing as well, which means that this is all the more ironic, because there is the pencil board, or it's really a calendar, 2026 calendar, and then this is probably my least favorite thing I've ever seen from Sterling Ink. This is not my vibe at all. I don't like this at all, but you know what? I don't really use these anyway. And I have the ones from last year if I did want to use them, so it's not a problem, and it's free. I don't care. But yeah, I just found it funny that I was like, ugh, I don't like that. Now, if I had gotten a full, of that, ideal. But anyway, so here, let's look at the planner. So we've seen flip throughs of these many times. I apologize for the crinkling of the plastic. And I'm just gonna put it in there before Zeus comes and gets it, and I will also put the box. Let's just hope that, see, he's already here. To be fair, he was here. He was looking out the window. So there we have my 2026 Sterling Ink planner. I did have the exact same planner, well, the exact same color in 2024. I like that it's got this like, it's like it's really textural. You can feel like the bumps and stuff like that, and I liked that. This year she didn't change a lot of the colors. She didn't change any of the colors, but she also, you know, kind of expanded where she was putting colors, because I think a lot of people wanted that pink. And I have that pink for my reading journal. The problem with the pink, the mulberry, and I think there was one other one, but they're very like smooth, and I didn't want that. I wanted the texture. This wasn't a clear cover the whole year, but I don't know if I'm gonna get a clear cover for this. I just like the feeling of it, and plus it's going to go in this, and it matches so perfectly. Love it. Anyway, so what I ended up getting was the horizontal, and so I'll show you a random horizontal page. The reason why I went with horizontal is because I've usually been a vertical girl, but I don't have a lot of timed events or a lot of appointments or a lot of things that happen at a certain time. So I didn't need that time blocking. I can just easily put my work schedule, you know, here like I do with my work planner. So just like that. And then I wanted to have like a space where I could put things like trackers and to-do lists and just that kind of stuff that you would have in a week size planner that you might not have room for if you're doing a vertical. Now I know you can change up your spreads, and I have done that. So I'm not sure if you've been around the channel, like I have definitely, you know, experimented with layouts, and I really did like this layout. So I just thought, you know, I might want a horizontal for this year. So that's what I did. And I got the full year. I always get the full year because I use more than the half year. So yeah. I have a couple of like spreads that I either don't know how to use or I haven't used traditionally. So this is one of them. So I have to figure out something to do here, even if that's just covering up these pages, or I can find a way of using them as they are. And then these pages, this tracker does not work for me. I don't follow through. I start, you know, strong in January, and then I don't follow through. I don't mind this. I like being able to, you know, kind of have my goals, but this doesn't work. So I was thinking of just covering this with a, I don't know what they're called, but this kind of like a project. So let me get out this, my just scribbles. So like this kind of a thing where you have like the months all together and kind of putting it on top there, and then I have my goals here, and then I can, you know, schedule things or track things on a 3-month basis. I have been thinking about doing that, or depending on how I use this, which I'll get to in a second, I may put like book tracking information. So in my book journal, I use this spread as a and I'll show it as a genre tracker. So mysteries, romance is another, and then further broken down into like subgenres, and keep track of how much I read of those genres. So I might do that. This is a lot bigger though than the one in the week, so it might be pretty empty if I did that. And there's also like different portions of it. So there's this kind of tracking portion, but then I can also use this and this. So we shall see. I love the months in here. I like that they're big. I like that there's lots of space you can decorate or put notes in. I'm really happy with the A5 months. And then we start, the week starts the 29th of December. So, I'm happy with this, but it was very expensive. And I'm definitely going to use it for 2026. I'm getting it to replace this. So I'll put it in this, but it might have a different function. Given the other planners that I have on order, and I will reveal all, but I like to do this, reveal one at a time, and then I'll do a big reveal when I decide what I'm going to do with everything. But this might have, everything's up in the air, and this might have a slightly different purpose than my A5 Common Planner had for this year. I have a couple, like I say, I have a couple more deliveries to come in before I have my potential lineup set. Once all the planners come in, then I'll make final decisions. I'm a planner channel, so I ordered things that I wanted to look at and see and maybe experiment with, not necessarily going to be, full-time in my lineup in 2026, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the ability to have the choice, and I really do like this. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna photocopy this page, and then kind of experiment with how I wanna lay things out, and try different kind of ideas that I have before I get into it. I'm not going to actually get into the planner until closer to December. So there you go. That's my first one. I'm happy that I got the brown. The other choices were, like I say, the onyx, which I never usually get. The fairy floss, the mulberry, the caramel, and the tweed. And the tweed is what I have this year. So I really wanted to get back to this kind of texture. I like this one. So anyway, let me know if you've received your Sterling Ink order yet, if you bought anything from Sterling Ink. If you're Canadian and you bought something from Sterling Ink, did you get hit with big taxes or big duty? And I'm excited to show you what else is coming up. Thank you so much again for watching. I really appreciate all your support, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.